Whether it was pure luck or some wild creative choices, a few movie scenes have become legendary, not because of editing tricks or fancy effects, but because they were 100% real. We're talking raw emotion, real physical effort, and in some cases, actual blood and bruises. No pretending, no green screens, just sweat, pain, and actors giving it their all. So buckle up, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into the craziest movie scenes that actually happen for real. Terminator 2 Judgment Day still slaps even after all these years. The action scenes, top tier. The special effects, groundbreaking at the time, and honestly still pretty solid today. But one scene in particular hits different. The intense helicopter chase on the highway. Instead of faking it with CGI, the director brought in a pro stunt pilot to actually fly the chopper just a few feet off the ground, even under a bridge. This wasn't some simulation. The guy pulled off every move for real, live on camera. It was one of the most technically insane scenes in the whole movie. One wrong move and it could have ended in disaster. But nope, dude nailed it. So next time you rewatch that scene, you'll appreciate it on a whole new level. Actors go through wild stuff for a role, but this one, it's next level. In Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds, there's a scene where Diane Kruger's character is strangled by Christoph Waltz's character. What most people don't know is that choking was 100% real. Tarantino didn't buy into the usual pretend choking techniques. He thought they looked fake, so he asked Diane if she'd be okay with actually being choked for real. Crazy, right? Even crazier. She said yes.
I'm gonna just strangle you, all right? Hold on, I'm gonna cut off your air for just a little bit of time. We're gonna see the reaction in your face, and then we'll cut. And she trusted me.
Don't worry, the whole thing was super controlled and she had a way to tap out if needed. But yeah, those expressions of fear and gasping for air, totally legit. It's intense, but that authenticity is exactly what made the scene unforgettable. In Alien Resurrection, there's this awesome scene where Sigourney Weaver casually tosses a basketball over her shoulder and sinks it like a boss. No camera trickery, no editing magic. That was all her. She actually came up with the idea herself and practiced for weeks to get it right. Her success rate, 1 in 6. But get this, on the day of filming, she landed it on the first try. Ron Perlman, who was in the scene, completely broke character and shouted something like, "Holy crap." But they had to cut his reaction during editing. Still, everyone on set lost it. Even years later, people asked the cast about that shot because let's be honest, that's a once-in-a-lifetime move. The Princess Diaries turned Anne Hathaway into Hollywood royalty, and part of that charm came from her totally relatable awkwardness. There's a moment where her character slips while climbing the bleachers, falls right on her butt, and bursts out laughing. It wasn't scripted at all. She genuinely fell and cracked up, and thought they'd yell, "cut," and redo the scene, but the director loved how natural and funny it looked. He kept the take, and honestly, it was the perfect touch.
Number 2, you've always have to look just right. Number 3.
Sometimes the best moments come from complete accidents. In The Godfather, Don Vito Corleone makes his iconic entrance while petting a cat. It's one of the most recognizable openings in film history, but here's the twist. The cat wasn't planned. It literally just wandered onto the set. Marlon Brando picked it up, gave it a few pets, and kept rolling. No one knew he was going to do it, but the director, Francis Ford Coppola, loved the unexpected contrast.
We've known each other many years, but this is the first time you ever came to me for counsel, for help. I can't remember the last time that you invited me to your house for a cup of coffee.
This intimidating mob boss gently stroking a fluffy cat. Funny thing is, the cat wouldn't stop purring and meowing, almost ruining the audio. But the scene was so powerful, they kept it. And just like that, a random street cat became part of movie legend.
You never wanted my friendship. And you were afraid to be my dad.
In The Spy Who Loved Me, 1977, James Bond skis off a cliff in one of the franchise's wildest stunts. Looks impossible, right? Not this time. That jump? Totally real. Stuntman Rick Sylvester climbed up Mount Asgard in Canada, over 6,000 feet high, and launched himself off with skis and a parachute. No green screen, no second takes, just pure guts and a prayer. He managed to open the chute just in time, landing safely and cementing his place in stunt history. No wonder that shot is still considered one of the greatest ever pulled off in an action movie. Sometimes actors get a little too into character, and in Home Alone, things got real, literally. During a rehearsal, there's a moment where Joe Pesci's character, one of the bumbling burglars, threatens to bite young Kevin's fingers. But instead of pretending, Pesci actually bit Macaulay Culkin. Not hard enough to cause damage, but enough to freak the poor kid out. Macaulay was only 9 at the time, and you can imagine how terrifying that must have been. That take didn't make it into the final cut, obviously, but the memory definitely stuck with him. Years later, Culkin even talked about it in interviews, saying it was one of the scariest moments on set.
The scenes, they hang me up on the closet door or something. They said, I'm gonna bite each one of your fingers off one at a time. And during rehearsal, he actually bit me, and it broke the skin and everything. I'm a little 9-year-old boy, and he's going around biting.
And here's the wild part. Joe Pesci purposely avoided interacting with Culkin off camera. He wanted to keep their relationship distant, so the tension on screen would feel more authentic. And well, biting your co-star definitely helps with that. A little too much maybe. Luke Perry, best known for Beverly Hills 90210, played Fred Andrews on Riverdale, the father of one of the main characters. In 2019, tragedy struck when he passed away unexpectedly from a stroke, right in the middle of filming. Instead of writing him out quietly, the show honored him with a full tribute episode. In the storyline, Fred dies while helping a stranger, and the news hits his son like a ton of bricks. But the funeral scene wasn't just emotional because of the script. It was because the grief was real. The cast wasn't acting. They were mourning a friend, a mentor, and someone they truly loved. Luke was known for being kind, humble, and supportive. Behind the scenes, he was like a father figure to many of the younger actors. So when you see tears in that episode, they're not fake. They're raw and heartbreaking. Fans felt it too. The episode sparked an emotional response across social media, with many saying it was one of the most powerful moments in the show's history. And honestly, they were right. In The Usual Suspects, 1995, there's a now iconic lineup scene where the suspects are told to step forward and repeat a line. It was supposed to be intense, serious, and a little intimidating. But what actually happened? The actors couldn't stop laughing, like full-on giggle fits, especially Benicio del Toro, who was reportedly letting out these ridiculous noises and even farted during the take. The director, Bryan Singer, was originally pissed. This was supposed to be a pivotal moment, not a comedy bit, but then he realized it worked. The laughter gave the scene a weird, raw energy that no one expected, and honestly, it made the characters more memorable. The final cut kept that exact take, and it became one of the most talked about scenes in the whole movie. Proof that sometimes the best stuff happens when things go totally off script. When it comes to doing his own stunts, Tom Cruise is in a league of his own, but in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, he completely outdid himself. We're talking about a stunt where he rides a motorcycle off a literal cliff, then skydives mid-air. And no, there's no green screen, no camera trickery. That was really him. Tom trained for over a year to pull this off. He did hundreds of skydives and motocross jumps, perfecting every single move. The stunt required insane precision. He had to launch the bike, free fall in the right position, then deploy his parachute at just the right time. One misstep and it could have gone horribly wrong. But Cruise isn't just any actor. He's a stunt junkie with nerves of steel. The result? A scene so mind-blowingly real that audiences and critics couldn't stop talking about it. Even veteran stunt performers were like, okay, that's nuts. It's not just a highlight of the movie, it's one of the most legendary stunts in modern cinema. Fight Club is already a cult favorite, packed with gritty moments and unforgettable lines. But did you know one of its most famous lines came from a real punch? In a key scene, Edward Norton was supposed to fake punch Brad Pitt, but director David Fincher had other plans.
Desgraçado!
He secretly told Norton to actually hit him, so when Norton clocked him right in the ear, Brad's reaction was 100% legit. He winced, turned, and yelled, "You hit me in the ear," which wasn't in the script, by the way. It was just him reacting in real time, and Fincher, being Fincher, kept it in the movie. Later, both actors said they were cool with it and even praised the decision. It added authenticity to a movie that's all about chaos, pain, and breaking the rules. That moment, it wasn't just movie magic, it was actual magic, caught on camera completely by accident, and that's part of what makes Fight Club such an enduring, gritty masterpiece.